Greetings.
Can I be heard?
Yes. Welcome.
Excellent.
Greetings.
Hello, hello.
And welcome to the Indie Dev Super Show.
Thank you for the welcome.
I'm super happy to have you. I really enjoyed testing out your game. Thank you for making it.
Yes.
And for submitting it to the Super Show that a busy game developer could manage to actually have an excuse to play it. So it's awesome.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah.
I really want to start off by saying how much charm this game has just opening the game. I want to do it again for the people who've missed it. When you open up Catacomb Kids, it says, hold on, it's coming. Come on, Steam, there you go. Hey, remember this is an early alpha. Tons of stuff unfinished. Lots of stuff is odd. And then up in the top where it says Catacomb Kids, na 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 alpha. I love it. It's so good.
I try and change that regularly. I think I forgot to change that on the last release, but this next release is going to have like a little new little catchphrase up there. So, yeah.
What are some of the previous catchphrases? Can you remember them?
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's an alpha. Oh geez, I can't remember all of them, but there have been a few, and that's also kind of like how I can tell, like when people take screenshots of the game, is I look for that little title and be like, oh, they were on like an old build there or something like that, because yeah. The only one I really remember is it's a bird, it's a plane, it's an alpha, because that's where I started doing that. That was like the first one, and I was like, I'm so clever.
I always, doesn't matter what game I play, I always have to go into the options, and I'm gonna give you props again for this screen fit. You don't have many times I try to resize a screen to fit 16:9 perfect on a monitor because I don't like games running in full screen.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I am with you there. I actually only recently started playing games in full screen. For the longest time, I was just like Windows only. So
yeah, I can't do the window the full screen, because the moment I have to like alt tab, the game goes away because it thinks I only have one monitor. It's just no. So yeah, this is Catacomb Kids. You want to tell everyone what this is all about?
Sure. So this is Catacomb Kids. This is a platformer, roguelike, or roguelike platformer, or whatever you want to call it. It's got procedurally generated levels, permadeath, all sorts of goodness, and sort of one of the I guess features and goals I sort of strive for development is item interaction and making sure that things interact. I don't know, just like that's sort of like the core of roguelikes to me, is just having things that interact. It's like, okay, like you can have permadeath and you can have like procedurally generated levels and whatnot, but if you're not really doing anything interesting in that environment, then what's the point, you know? It's just a fun platformer. So I tried to sort of really mix the roguelike aspects and elements into it, and that sort of thing.
I like the little thing here in the tutorial when you're just messing around with a rock and you pick up the rock and you go to the door, you just beat on the door with, you don't even use the doorknob. You just like break down the door with your rock.
Oh, that's if you can do that with any door. If you attack instead of pressing the open button, you'll just kick the door open, and that's actually an effective means of getting the jump on enemies. Because if there's someone standing on the other side of the door and you kick it open, then they get stunned, and it's really fun. And I love the sound that breaking doors makes. So.
It's so satisfying just to break open a door. Oh, there you go. I had a problem with that sprint jump when testing it. So, all right, here we go. This is gonna be brutal. There you go. Okay. Oh well.
Okay, I'm a little behind, so
I can trust the I can try the screen share in a second. Let me just open this chest. Wait. Okay. Let's see. I'm sure Skype won't be too terrible. Right, Skype?
Always a dreamer, Rue.
I know.
Maybe, potentially.
And what do you see?
I see wants to show video. Accept video. Okay, I can see you now. Okay. Now you're at the roll jump part.
Oh, I hate this part. This is as far as I got.
Yeah, this is the part that everybody has trouble with. All right. So the thing about like the roll jump is you don't need to like time it precisely. Like you don't need to press jump as soon as you want to jump. It like, so if you press jump and there's there's like a ledge above you, or like you can't jump, then it'll just queue it up for whenever you leave that space. And so it's like you kind of roll and then press jump, and then whenever you're able to jump, you do the jump. So I'm actually gonna rework the tutorial very, very soon and make it a little less dense and more, kind of like guiding you through each of these different aspects and that sort of thing. And I'll probably also have like a little place where you can test out each of the classes and that sort of thing, because I'm not entirely happy with the tutorial as it stands at the moment, because tutorials are hard. Especially for a game of this like with this density of mechanics and that sort of thing.
So I know what comes on further, so I'm not trying to spoil it for anyone, but do I have to put magic points into magic points for the book or no? Or
you don't know.
Just level up. Okay, good. Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. Did it? Oh, I heard you mention. Did something bad happen during the tutorial before?
Yeah, I didn't go to the orb of leveling first. I got the book first, and it was like, oh, you can't use this because you're not a high enough level, and then the book disappeared. So.
Okay,
yeah.
That is a problem. I see.
So it was just because I didn't know which way to go at that point. I know I'm spoiling Sandblock. I know I'm terrible.
Spoilers for the tutorial. Yeah, you can't be spoiling the tutorial.
I'm the worst human being ever. So when you level up, you like say for a strength point, I just put a point into strength. I now have 2 options to put points in here. So so you can customize your build based around the level, or what's the idea of being able to do that?
So the idea is that numbers are kind of boring to me, and so I didn't want leveling up just to be a matter of, oh, I get +1 to my favorite number or something like that. I wanted it to be more like, oh, when you level up, your character actually changes in significant ways, and that you like gain new abilities and that sort of thing. And so every time you level up, you get the ability to put points into your actual stat numbers, but then you also get the ability to then put a point into learning. They're called stat boons, which is basically a new ability that related to whatever you previously leveled up and that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
And so what you just learned is heavy lifting, which lets you well, first of all, it's got some passive effects and some less passive effects. So like one of the passive effects is you're no longer burdened by heavy items, meaning like things that would normally be considered heavy, that would slow you down and make you jump lower and stuff like that, like carrying a chest or a dead body or something like that. Those no longer affect you, so you can jump normally and move quickly. And then the more active aspect is that you can pick up enemies by crouching and pressing the pickup button when you're next to an enemy.
Gotcha.
Which is I think much more interesting than being like, oh, +1 number. So.
It is, because like that's the issue with a lot of games that deal with the like strength, dexterity, intelligence, and all that. It's just like, I don't know what I want to put into the build, and does 1 point of strength really matter that much aside from, oh, I can wear a different piece of gear? It's more about you have this other technique. Now, what's the difference between stable and okay?
So there is no difference currently.
Oh, okay.
But in the upcoming build that I'm working on, there will be a difference.
Gotcha.
In that unstable spells will have negative effects to them. Basically, that's saying whether you're. So, for instance, if you don't have enough mana to cast a spell, like for instance, if a spell costs 4 energy and you only have a maximum of 3, then you can still cast the spell. But in the upcoming build, casting a spell that you don't have the energy for will have significant negative effects. So.
Oh, okay. So there's that. I was like, wait, I don't know what the stomp.
Yeah, I've noticed. Yeah, that's another thing that people are confused about, because there's an arrow pointing down, and they think they have to hold down, but really it's just like Mario stomping is what I was trying to convey there.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's see what this says.
Just like that you are able to jump on enemies. So like I said, not the greatest tutorial. Working on it.
So now down, up. Oh no, I get it. So I guess I have to get the gear. That's number 1.
So to give people kind of an idea, how many people are working on this and how far along are you? Just to give people perspective.
So currently, the working on it is myself, my musician Stevie, my other musician Dose One, and I recently hired an artist to help out with art and animations for the new area that's being added to the game. And as far as how far along it is, it's geez, I always never really know what to say because I'm just kind of like, because like I've given estimates before and they're always wrong. So
Oh, yeah.
so
I
I feel bad saying like, oh yeah, it's like it should be, you know, this far along, and then like, you know, a year later like, oh yeah, it should be this far along. It's like but basically to give an indication, I suppose, is the finished game, I want to have 4 different environments in it, and currently only one is complete, and the second is underway. Like currently, that's literally what I'm working on right now.
I see.
Is the second like environment.
So you've got a lot more content to create.
Yes.
As far
So
as
that's the thing though, is that it's mostly content that's left, and what I've been working on, like, or I guess a large portion of what I've worked on so far has been like a lot of like the system stuff, which is finally sort of winding down in that like I'm getting to a point where like all the systems stuff is falling into place and I'm happy with it and it's working, and there's not really too much left to do on that front, but it's just about like adding new enemies, new environments, new traps, new items, all that sort of stuff. So that's sort of where I am, and that's what's left to do.
I like the idea that I can eat a corpse and then, or loot a corpse, eat a corpse, pick up the skeleton, and eat the skeleton. Oh, don't eat the skeleton.
Yeah, eating skeletons isn't super great. They're really bony. Not the safest digestion.
I'm kind of thrilled that I managed to find 2 different games where you can kind of eat everything for the Super Show.
Yes, that is definitely one of my major goals in the game. Is if you can kill it, you can eat it. So
It's lovely.
yeah.
Ooh, and there's a class system. Perfect.
Yep. So that's the other thing that I have to do is finish the other 3 classes.
So,
but currently there are 3 classes implemented out of 6.
so
And
bully.
oh, you're playing with the controller. I see. Cool.
Yeah, I
So-
have to play with the controller on a platformer. And
Okay.
different characters as
I've
well?
just gotten so used to jumping back and forth between code and playing that I just like always play on the keyboard. So yeah, so each of these characters is randomly generated. So if you go back and forward, you'll get a different selection.
Oh, that's cool.
And yep, they all have different stats, different so the below your health and mana you see there, like this, it shows and next to your stats it says magical armor, magical weapon, like swords, and loud. So loud is kind of a negative thing where enemies will notice you from further away, and like swords means that you'll gain sword skill just by using swords, as opposed to having to spend points to learn, you know, new sword skills, that sort of thing. So everybody's got these different traits. And yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying, like, so every character starts with the different traits and different armor as well, or is like everything randomized?
Yes.
Huh.
So this guy's got glowing chainmail, and that counts as one of his positive traits because he has magical armor, and he also has a magical weapon, which counts as another one of his positive traits.
Well, I was gonna pick him because he's loud and I'm loud, so let's go.
That works, yeah. So bullies are I guess everybody kind of expects bullies to be the easy class because, you know, warrior just like charge in and fight, but bullies actually have the lowest defense of the current classes. So it's like, yeah, you're really good at killing stuff, but try not to get hit because you'll get taken out pretty quickly.
Oh, I love the fact that everything is just randomized.
Yeah. And so, yeah, there's traps, danger abounds.
Look cute, like, oh. Well,
danger abounds. That's his life in the catacombs. You died relatively innocent.
One creature died hating you. A biat.
Yes. Yep. The biats. You killed that one biat.
So I have a little bit of issue because my controller's not liking me. It's Windows. I'm assuming it's a Windows 10 thing. Windows 10 does not like my Xbox controller at all.
There's not much that Windows 10 does like.
What is a messy eater?
Messy eater means that you get fewer benefits from eating things. So
Oh, because it ends up like on their face.
yes, so it's like you're trying to stuff your face, and just like most of the nutrition just ends up all on your shirt and just like everywhere but your mouth. So messy eater is actually one of people's least favorite traits, because meals are kind of important, and eating things is kind of a large part of the game, and getting the benefits of that. So
I have my regulars asking me right now, Hefty saying, will this be part of my, I run a game show, a roguelike game show, saying if you survive, you get a prize. And I could see this. Oh, I died again. I could see this being part of that easily. Easily.
nice. So
Okay, this guy looks like he can do. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. I will beat this floor. Here we go.
I believe you. I believe in you.
Come on, get down.
So another thing to know is that each class has a different ability, has a different like unique skill to that class, and the bully's ability is taunting. So if you just tap your right joystick just in any direction, you should do a taunt.
Oh yeah.
And that'll sort of alert nearby enemies, but also you see you've got like the little flying thing around you. That is that means that your next hit will be a guaranteed critical.
Ooh.
And the more enemies there are, more enemies you taunt, the more guaranteed criticals you accumulate, like per taunt. So if you're like surrounded by a bunch of enemies and you taunt, then you can just like crit for days.
Ooh. So undo.
And
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm looking.
oh
at
yeah,
some
no.
things.
Yeah. Undo is a very good spell.
So basically, this will allow me to undo an action, like time. Like if I take a bunch of. Oh gosh.
We'll find out very soon, I'm assuming.
If I don't die.
I believe in you. Just get him.
Okay,
Get him. There you go. Playing like a bully. Just go all in. Nice.
Okay, there you go. So there's that orange potion. May as well.
Nice.
Regenerate, not bad. And do the I'm not looting. I probably should loot these bodies, shouldn't I?
You can if you want to.
Is there a benefit to keeping some of like a skeleton or a glass bottle?
So yes, there is actually. So bottles can be used to bottle things. So if you have an empty bottle and you come across like a Biat corpse or whatever, you can use the bottle on the Biat corpse, and once the Biat corpse is bottled, then it won't rot. And you can then, geez, there's so many things. You can make Biat soup if you have a bottle and a Biat, and then you put the bottled Biat in water, and it becomes a bottle. It becomes a Biat in a bottle of water, and then you put that over a fire, and then it becomes Biat soup. And then you can find spices and spice the soup, and there's all kinds of, yeah, it's weird. I'm making a weird game.
No, it's fine. Like I'm liking. You're not sure what the Crimson Potion did. This
Yep,
I like.
You don't know.
I quite like this. Corpse. There's nothing. Oh, there's loot.
I'm a massive fan of roguelikes. I grew up playing the classic rogue that all roguelikes are named after.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I see so much in this that mimics that kind of feeling, that like lostness, and like you have to really experiment to figure out what things do. And
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like hesitant to explain everything, is because I like one of my favorite things about watching people play the game is just to see their sense of discovery as they like figure things out, like, oh, that's what that does, or like, oh, like I shouldn't have eaten that, and that sort of thing.
Like that mushroom.
Yeah, like that mushroom, exactly. Mushrooms that spit poisonous gas might not be the best things to eat.
no.
Give me back my orb.
It's that kind of thing, that discovery is actually something that people miss. They don't realize they're missing it, but it gives you this like sense of reward for learning these things that impact your future.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the kind of game I love, and that's the kind of game I want to make. And it's funny you should mention that you grew up playing like actual rogue, is because I'm actually super terrible at traditional roguelikes. Like, and so like half the reason I wanted to make this game is because like I'm like terrible at these games, but I love them. But also I'm really good at platformers. So let me just make a roguelike that I can be good at.
That's a good reason.
Don't drink the inky potion. I'm telling you now, don't drink it.
Don't do it.
I just combusted into flames. But okay.
Yeah, that was. Well, you had undo, so it saved you though. So your undo did you good. Because undo automatically procs if you die.
What if you relearn, like, say if I picked undo again?
So okay, here's something that isn't very clear that I probably should explain. When you manually cast undo, it just uses a spell charge, like normal.
Okay.
Like every spell has like different numbers of spell charges, and you can like replenish them and lose them. But when undo automatically procs via you dying, then its maximum charges are permanently reduced by 1.
Oh,
and
Gotcha.
since you only had 1 charge to begin with, then and it saved you from death, then you lost that charge. But then you relearn it to gain the charges back again, and so if you learn a spell that you already know, then it'll give you more charges of that spell.
Please heal me.
Yep.
There you go.
So I know obviously you only have a single area finished, like one kind of world created,
Right.
but assuming there is some sort of kind of end state.
There will
for
be
it?
an end. Yes, there will be 20 floors.
Awesome. Are you capable of beating your own game so far? I only ask because I can't beat mine, and I'm kind of both proud of it and feel very pathetic.
So I can technically. Good job.
Undo
you
didn't
made
do
it to floor
anything.
2. You made it to floor 2. That was good.
I
That was a good
promised
job.
I would get past floor 1. There you go.
And I believed in you. Yeah. So as far as beating the game, there's currently not really an end. It just kind of goes forever. You reach. So you saw when he died the first time, he got that reputation that said relatively innocent. There are a ton of reputations that you can get, and one of them is if you get past floor 20, then one of the reputations you get is just win depth plus whatever floor you got to. And so it just keeps going and getting harder and harder, and until you either like the balance isn't really meant to go on that long, so it kind of breaks after a while, and either becomes impossibly difficult or impossibly easy. But yes, so I can reach super deep. I tend to get a little bored after floor 20 or so, because that's where the game would end end anyway. So I'm like, it's fine for me to get bored after this, because that'll be the end of the game. It's really hard though. It's
Understatement.
it doesn't happen very often that I get that far. Usually just because I get impatient and make stupid mistakes and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Awesome.
Let's not drink that inky potion. That's bad. Can you?
Or you could
I was gonna
and see if something different happens this time. Maybe. Who knows?
I'm gonna trust you. Here we go.
I mean, maybe you shouldn't. I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, it's poison. All right. It's not fire though.
It's not fire. That's true. I might die. Hold on. Eat the potato. Stay alive.
Poison doesn't kill you.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay, good.
It just brings you to 1. Yeah.
That potato did nothing.
Fire will very kill you. Yeah.
Don't play with fire, kids.
Nope. Fire is dangerous.
It's bad. Oh, I probably should have pushed that one the other way. Okay. Well.
A lot of our regular viewers are very used to being subjected to watching roguelikes because of Legend of Dungeon. So they're all in chat talking about potions and stuff.
You're getting really lucky with these potions, man.
Hey, you just gotta drink. Oh, why am I? So I'm guessing I'm stunned?
Yeah, you get zapped. That potion was a potion of electricity, and you were jumped into water while electrified. So.
Ooh, tase
That's-
plus water. Yeah.
Yes, it's a very logical conclusion.
I'm just showing all the cool ways that you can die.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
there are a ton of death messages. Yeah, there's one of my favorite is intruded upon, which is when an enemy kicks open a door that you're standing next to and it kills you.
Oh, gee. Death
so-
by door.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. It's only happened to me a few times, but when it happens, I'm like, all right, I deserve that.
So now I'm playing the Wanderer class just to get some flavor going.
Yes, okay, yeah. The Wanderer's ability is to have that sort of radar ping. But also, if you, well, I guess if you kill this enemy or next enemy you kill that leaves the corpse behind, I'll explain to you a little more.
Sure.
There you go. No, so if you press and hold your class ability button, now you're tracking slimes, and so you can see slimes regardless of whether they're like actually within your vision or not.
So, like for example, that slime was up there. I could see like a little shadow of it, but now I'll see the entire slime.
If you explore around a little more, you'll see what I mean. Like, I don't see any on screen right now, so there aren't any. But you'll know it when you see it. It's like in the black area that you haven't explored yet. You'll see little slime icons. Like, that was
Well,
or not. You could just what do you learn in school when you know when they, what do they say when you catch on, if you catch on fire, what are you supposed to do?
does that really actually work in this game? No.
Yes, of course.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop, drop, and roll. It's gonna happen.
Yes, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do when you catch on fire.
Excuse me. And you can do 0 damage.
Yes, wanderers are not super strong. That's the benefit of the bully, is they always kind of have like at least a little guaranteed damage, like even if it's just ones.
Is there a way to identify potions before, or is it just randomized?
There is.
There is. Okay.
So yes, there is a way. So based on your intelligence, the higher your intelligence is, the so every potion has traits that persist between games. So as an example, like a flame potion will always have the trait warm and swirling or something like that, right?
Okay.
And so the longer you hold on to a potion, the more of those traits you will identify. And the higher your intelligence is, the faster you will identify those traits.
So it's good to use. Is it the poet that's intelligence based? Really? Oh god.
Oh, that was good. You're all right. I believe in you. The poet is magic based. I have the intelligence class isn't in yet.
Oh, okay.
That's the one I'm working on next. Won't be in for a while, but I'm super excited because I'm pretty sure it's going to be my favorite class ever. And I'm not going to spoil anything about it.
So tell us more about it. No.
It is kind of frustrating. Like, at least for me, I have trouble not giving dev spoilers when I watch people stream my game, because there's so much that you know is possible sometimes.
Yeah. Well, so here's the weird thing is, so I stream game development myself. Am I allowed to plug myself?
Oh yeah. Oh no. This is your hour.
Okay.
We're taking the Robot Loves Kitty channel and giving it to you. So go for
excellent.
it.
So every if anybody cares to know this or continue watching development, I do dev streams every Monday from 3 to 6 Pacific, and one of the weird things that actually, even since before I've been doing dev streams and people were just like, asking me questions about the game and stuff like that, is people will sort of ask me, or no, they won't ask me. They'll have suggestions, because everybody's got suggestions. Everybody's like, oh, you should add this to the game. Oh, you should add this. The weird thing is, like, they will like offer, like they'll like tell me like, oh, you should add this thing, and they'll describe something in detail that I already plan on adding exactly as they describe it, and it's very strange. Like, because so if you want some more like gameplay spoilers, if you're afraid of spikes, like spike pits, landing on spikes, dying.
Yep.
If you that's a dangerous potion right there. you might want to hold on to them a little longer before imbibing.
But it's so
and
hard
then so you can identify some of those traits. Or how about this? You can throw them at enemies, and they'll also identify that way.
I like
so
that.
Maybe you can. Yeah. But yeah, so spikes. You don't like spikes, right? Yeah. Oh, that telephone crap.
Oh, we've got people in chat asking for your stream channel. If you want to just like slap a wave in there so people can toss you some follows.
Yeah.
Get some new people pestering you.
It's 4-Bit Friday.
There you go. So I guess I could. No, nothing here.
Yeah. So that's where you can follow me. I haven't finished my sentence yet. Spikes. That's what. So I was. So I've got spikes in the game, and someone suggested, hey, you should make it so that you can like use corpses to walk across spikes. Like so if you see a spike pit, you drop a corpse in, and then you can stand on the corpse. And I was like, I totally planned on doing that. and it's like weird because it's like really specific stuff like that. It's not like, oh, you should like add this item that like, you know, does this this general thing that most other games have. It's like really specific stuff like, oh, you should make, you know, sprinting through, like if you have stampede and you sprint through doors, you'd like knock them down and stuff like that. Like, although that was kind of, anyway, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but it's really weird because it keeps happening and people keep suggesting like really specific things, and then like but then they'll like suggest I add like some really spoiler stuff. Like somebody suggested I guess this, I can spoil this, whatever, I don't really care. Somebody suggested that I add a so the guys you're killing, they're called grumbles.
Yes.
And somebody suggested I add a little grumble village that you can come across sometimes. And I totally plan on doing that. But like the way they described it is like, oh yeah, you should find a grumble village, but not everybody's violent towards you. Sometimes they're just farmers and stuff like that. And I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I was going to add. And it's like, but I feel weird because I don't want to like confirm nor deny it. Because it's like, I want you guys to find this stuff for yourselves and that sort of thing. So
it's also tough because it's like your unique original idea, and here they are suggesting it, and it's like, no, but it's mine.
But it's like, I don't want them to feel like, oh, you added my idea and then didn't credit me, and I'm like, well, first of all, it's my game because I can do whatever I want. So, but also it's like, but yeah, like yeah. And then, but sometimes they'll have like genuinely good ideas that I didn't think of, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should totally do that, you know. So, and then when that happens, I'll be like, yeah, I'll like mention to them, like, yes, you had a great idea, and don't be surprised if it does or does not end up in the game eventually, you know. So, I don't know. I don't know. I feel really fortunate to have really cool players and who are very supportive and patient despite my sometimes sporadic update release. Dang, that was pretty brutal.
Wow. Wow. So is there?
Was that did you get one shot?
I got one shot.
Were you at full health?
I was at full. 3 or 4 health, I think.
I feel like that shouldn't have happened. No, that shouldn't have happened.
Is there?
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Is there a an orb of leveling on every stage?
There is. There is an orb of leveling on every floor currently.
So I really need to go find those because I didn't find the one last one.
Oh yeah, that would help. That would definitely help.
Strength, speed.
Is that just kind of an exploration reward type thing?
It's how you level up, because there's no grinding, there's no experience, there's no other way except to find the orb of leveling. And so I kind of consider that just to be part of the game loop, and you can ignore it if you want, but you'll have a hard time. Like personally, I find like once you get like so good at the game and stuff like that, you can start like self-imposing rules on yourself. And like one of the things I like to do is like go for no orb runs and that sort of thing. But playing the game normally, it's generally the, you know, find the orb, get to the exit, find the orb, get to the exit, and that's sort of the process. Yeah. But I explicitly didn't want to have any experience or you know, that sort of thing, because I hate grinding.
Yeah,
and it also feels like it's just much easier to control player progression when I can just give them definite, like, okay, I can expect the player to be at this power level by this stage, so like this threat will be exactly this, you know, unless they skip an orb or something like that. Which case that's on. Huh?
Can I just that rock?
If you crouch and attack each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, wow, what a dick move, game.
Nah, I'm not. I try to be nice. I try to be really nice.
No, and
go for as far as stuff like that goes.
It's fair. It's fair. Like anything that happens to me is my fault.
Yeah, that's the sense I'm trying to get across. Except that one shot. That was kind of unfair, but well, because I guess there's a bug in the game right now. So enemies aren't supposed to be able to do more than the current floor +1's worth of damage. So if you're on floor 3, you should never take a hit that's more than 4 damage, and that doesn't seem to be currently working for some reason that I have yet to find out.
So we have a couple of questions from chat right now. They're asking if you can get drunk in the game and if drinking alcohol gives you experience and lowers your hit points.
There is no alcohol. These are kids.
Well,
They're children. They're children living a very difficult life, but there's still some morals in play here. There's still some not many. I guess they're resorting to cannibalism. So it's kind of. Do I really want to bring that up? I don't know.
yeah, you do have the word kids directly in your title, so I suppose you have to kind of be a little tactful.
Yeah. I don't want to have kids kids cannibalizing. That's fine. Kids drinking. That's too far. That's
illegal. Wait, hold on. So it's cannibalism.
Well, only a little.
A little bit. Okay, where's this taking me? Why not? Let's go. Oh,
that's convenient.
That is really nice. Let's go. All right. So what benefit? I'm assuming speed benefits wanderers.
So that's the other thing is the classes. You'll notice like when you level up, you have your stats in a specific order, and when you. So for example, if you were to learn speed and get those 2-second choices, those 2 choices would push everything down, and then you would no longer have access to magic to spend your second point on. And then so it's like your top stat on your level up screen is always the primary stat of whatever class you are, and the bottom stat is always kind of their weakest stat. So, and it's also the most difficult to level up because basically as long as you've leveled up anything else, you'll have less access to that last stat and that sort of thing. So wanderers are definitely speedy. They're
son of a
and just insult to injury. I guess that was injury to death. So I don't know.
I was like, hey, this is good. We'll actually have a decent run. I died.
Yeah.
And I'm good at platformers. I'm like you've combined platforming and roguelike, and those are my 2 favorite styles of games.
They're my 2 favorite things too. I just need to get better at actual roguelikes.
There's a lot of them I haven't completed. Legend.
Yeah.
Just had to drop that in there. But it's fun. Like every time, and it's just like in a lot of other roguelikes, like you died because you did something stupid. So smarten up.
Yeah. And you're getting better. This is like the other thing that excites me about watching people play and stuff is just like watching them like learn and like learn from their mistakes and be like, oh, I know not to do that, or I know that this is the way to go, and that sort of thing. Yeah.
And
man, it's been a while since I've watched someone play who's like hasn't played before. This is really fun.
I'm excited. This is of course God damn it. On early access on Steam. When did you put it on early access?
It's been what is today? It has been a year and 7 days since it's been on early access. Because I believe it came out on early access on February 20th of last year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Double jump. Don't care about the other ones. I can double jump.
Yep, there you go.
Because it seems... Oh, no. Well, I was going to eat that, but thanks, game. So I'm holding... Oh, what's the lantern do? Let's find out. Oh, okay.
Lets you look around.
Oh. That's nifty. What's the poet's ability? I will place on... Actually, I just realized what time it was. Yeah, let's swap to a poet. See what happens. Let's go.
Up. There you go.
Leg severed? You can lose limbs in this game?
Oh, definitely. Yes. Oh, you got Stumpy. Yeah, you can lose your legs. You can lose arms. It's yes. That's so. I'm actually giving a talk at GDC about that. I guess the theme of the talk is the fragility of human bodies as it pertains to video games, which is a topic that greatly interests me. But yeah, you can get your arms and legs severed. It's all bad. Oh, yeah, Wizard Throw. Wizard Throw is probably one of my favorite spells in the game.
I'm at energy. I also I threw the potion at him thinking it would be something bad.
Yeah.
He got
that happens.
Potion of regeneration.
Yep, that happens.
That's bad.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that. I want the.
So do you have a spell book, because all poets start with a spell book, so that's in your pocket already if you want to
Oh,
like take that out and learn
sure.
from it. Yeah.
Let's drop that. Eat the corpse. Swap that. Magic 101.
So, you've got some questions in chat. Sorry, hi. This is
Yeah,
Kitty
yeah,
from
sorry.
the studio.
I-
Sorry. The disembodied voice. You've got some good questions in chat. I think the ones that stand out the most are, what modern roguelikes have you played, and have any of them influenced the design of the game, even just a little bit?
Yes. So Powder was kind of the first roguelike that I fell in love with, because it was I was I guess for a while I was like super not into rogues, because I'm kind of like an artist by, that's my background, is as an artist.
Mhm.
And I couldn't really get into most traditional roguelikes because of the ASCII stuff, and that was kind of a huge barrier to entry to me. But then I played Powder, which is a graphical roguelike, and I was like, this is fantastic. Is this what all roguelikes are like? And then I went back and played the ones that I was like, that I had shunned before for their lack of graphics, and I was like, why did I hate these? These are amazing. Like every one of these is fantastic. So Powder is kind of the one that got me into the genre, and like just was like, yes, I want to make and play these all the time. But beyond that, it's a lot of 7-day roguelikes, especially by Jeff Late and who is the other dev that makes a lot of 7-day roguelikes? There's a bunch of them, but
Do you want to explain to people what 7-day roguelikes are? I know what it
yeah.
is, but for the
Yeah.
for the chat.
So 7-day roguelike is a game jam that in which you are tasked with making a roguelike in 7 days. And the thing I like about 7-day roguelike sort of games and entries is that they tend to be very much more focused than the larger ones that have had like years to grow and were like open sourced and then closed source and then open, and it's like all this like complicated dev history and stuff like that. 7-day roguelikes are just like people have an idea for okay, I want to make a game about this one thing, and then they want to do that one thing really well, and that's like something that I really appreciate just in game design in general, is like kind of that focus and clarity of purpose. And I feel like a lot of 7-day roguelikes have that, where other larger, more popular ones might not. Yeah. So, and one of the ones that I really like is called DD Rogue, which was a 7-day roguelike where the combat was really interesting, because in most roguelikes the combat just consists of bump into thing, and that's how you hit it. But in DD Rogue, it added sort of like it actually took me a very long time to realize that I think the DD in DD Rogue stands for like Dance Dance Revolution, but Dance Dance Rogue. Because like the way you would fight in the game was like you as you explored the game and found these different items, they would give you different moves. So for instance, one of the moves was if you like press, like if you have an enemy on one side of you and a wall on the other side of you, if you press against the wall and then press towards the enemy, you'll flip over the enemy and end up on the other side of them. And just sort of that kind of like, that sort of input is something that I hadn't seen in any other roguelike to that point, where it's like, oh, this is more than just bumping into things, or more than just selecting moves from a menu and selecting spells from a menu and that sort of thing. This is like actually, me inputting my moves in a way that makes sense. Like I'm pressing off against the wall and then flipping over this guy. And so that one is one that had a big influence on me. And I'm also a big fan of Brogue, which is really pretty. But it also seems to have that sort of like clarity of design that I love. That sort of thing.
Yeah. Now, how about for the platformer side of things? Where are your influences from that?
That's a lot harder, because I've played a lot more platformers for a lot longer than roguelikes. So
do you have a favorite?
Like,
because it's so easy to play favorites with video games.
Easy.
Not really.
No, that's the
I'm
hardest thing.
Very sarcastic.
Yeah, okay. So let's see, platformers. I was always like, I grew up as I was a Nintendo kid growing up, so I was like just I kind of grew up like after the era when I was alive and stuff during like NES or SNES era and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really cognizant because I was like 3 or whatever. So I didn't really play like all those games until later when I emulated everything, and then I just basically played the entire SNES, NES, Genesis libraries. And they have like so many good platformers on them. Like I can't decide. I can't pick one. But I will say that I really like the Kirby games. Kirby games are among my favorites. Bionic Commando, Rystar. Man, there are too many. There's too many. Why you make me choose?
A good list. That's a good list. That's all good. I was mostly torturing your soul. That's what
Okay,
that question
okay.
was for.
Well, you did a good job.
Sorry.
I am sufficiently tortured.
See, I was about to say like Gunstar Heroes, but I was like, it's more of a shoot 'em
Gunstar
up.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So how about a different level of this question? And your answer is very important, of course.
Okay.
Your
okay.
life depends on it.
All right.
What is your current thought of other games that are kind of doing a similar sort of cross between X and Y rogue type games, like the rogue lights that are happening, like Rogue Legacy, Legend of Dungeon?
It makes me very happy.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yes. So I guess when Catacomb Kids like first kind of came out on early access and people were like sort of comparing it to all these other games, like, oh, how is this different from Rogue Legacy? And I think a little like around the same time, Vagante also sort of came out in early access or was revealed to the world and that sort of thing. And people were like, oh, this looks just like this other game. This looks just like this other game and that sort of thing. That does not discourage me at all. I find it exciting that, first of all, that there are so many people that are interested in these types of games that are making them and that sort of thing. But also, I feel like even if I were to see a screenshot of some other roguelike platformer and be like, this is the game that I want to make, and then go about in my little attempt to recreate what I see from that screenshot perfectly, that they would end up to be completely different games simply by the nature that different people are making them. And
Right.
like that's kind of like the thing that stands out to me is like you can't really look at this thing and that thing and then see and be like, oh, they're going to end up being the same. It's like, no, that's not really how it works, because we're completely different people making a completely different thing. And just by the nature of our experiences of living and existing different lives, we're going to end up making different things. And so it actually really interests me, and I find it very curious to see all these other games that are doing similar things, and not only the areas where they're similar, but the areas where they're different, where it's like, oh, I would never have done that, I would never have thought to do that, or like, oh, this is apparently something that they value for their game, but that is less important for me, and like, it's really interesting. But yeah, I'm into it.
I like that answer. That's a really good answer, because it is really true. A lot of the games have their own very unique approach or feeling because of the person making them, kind of making that game because it's what they want personally.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's the power of indie devs right there. That's something that we get to have.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Exactly.
it's not a bad thing to compare games to other games, because people experience it slightly different,
Unless you're
it's a way of like connecting and familiarizing yourself with it and being like, oh, like if you like this other thing, maybe you'll like this
maybe
thing.
like
And
it,
it's like,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
only problem I do have with that, just I'm a game dev, maybe I'm a little bit slanted on this, is people seeing that a game looks similar to something else and then kind of writing it off because of that without giving it a shot.
That's my issue.
yeah, but
people do that.
that's their problem.
Yeah, but as a dev,
Like-
it upsets me because I know how many
Yeah.
hours something has
Yeah,
happened.
that's
it's like-
true. Yeah, that's true. It's like you see someone put in or you yourself put in all this hard work, and somebody just dismisses it out of hand just because it's like, oh, this looks like this other thing. It must not be worth existing. It's like more than one thing of a type is worth existing. Like that doesn't, like just because there's something else that exists that is similar to this doesn't make the thing that you're making or whoever else is making, it doesn't make it, doesn't diminish its value any, So, I don't know.
Sadly, we're running out of time. I can't believe how fast an hour goes.
I know.
Oh,
Oh,
is that already? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, seriously, it's kind of
Oh, okay.
frustrating.
Can I show off something before
Yeah,
you finish?
yeah,
Okay.
that's why I'm grabbing you now. Anything you want Rue to do, you make him do it.
Okay, so You're doing well. Okay, never mind. You're about to die. Oh, you survived.
Stop,
Good job.
drop,
Roll
and
it.
roll.
Stop, drop, and roll. All right. All right. I wanted to show off the poet's class ability, but you need a spell book to do that.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to quit and start and roll a new one, but you're on floor 2. You're doing pretty well. I'm curious to see how this goes.
He took my potato.
Oh, he did take your potato.
Oh, well,
I don't know if you're gonna be there.
you
Okay.
go.
All right.
All right.
There you go. Yeah, you need a potato. Yeah. So in the background is Stevie, one of the game's musicians.
All right.
So yeah, just so actually, if you can get the guy with the dark arts book,
Sure.
the second guy right there, yeah. So if you want to take out your spell book and then use it, but don't learn anything from it.
Okay.
Like use it, and then instead of selecting a spell, select the book itself, and press A. All right, now you've got your tome equipped, and so if you back out of this menu, you'll have the book floating behind you.
Okay.
And now you can use the right joystick to sort of twin stick shooter it.
Whoa.
And for this reason, the poet is my favorite class. I love poets.
That is cool.
Yeah, and so each different spellbook has a completely different effect. And if you make it to floor 3, you can increase increase the level of your class and get the ability to charge up your spell books, and that gives them like even more effects. So like charged up dark arts makes like a cloud of darkness that renders everything invisible, and charged up what's my favorite one? Anyway, there's a bunch of them. I just wanted to show that off because poet's one of my favorite classes, and you can weaponize spell books and just be blasty all the time.
That is beautiful.
That's amazing.
All right, so one final question, and then I'll let you show your wares and kick you off the internet.
Okay.
Because this is a really good question. It's something I've been kind of wanting to ask you because it's always interesting to know what a developer has done before. Do you have any other experience with making games? Did you work? Where's your past game developingness? Because you said it was art.
Yes,
That's all we know.
was. Okay, fair enough. I was a freelance pixel artist for several years, and that was like what I did for money. And I just kind of like it was fun, and like I love doing art. I love making art, but at some point I just got kind of tired of working on other people's stuff when I have all these ideas that I want to make myself, So at that point so my sort of background as far as like the coding side, because I'm doing everything except the sound in the game basically.
Wow.
Is I've been using Game Maker since I was in high school. I want to say like maybe like 13 or 14, and so that was, geez Louise, that was like. Yeah, that was like 12 years ago. So I've been using Game Maker for like 12 or 13 years, and just over the course of that time, I was like, I can make this do what I want it to. So why not make a game? Why not art for my own game?
Yeah.
Why not do a Kickstarter and help me, live while I make this game that apparently people are excited about. Yeah, so that's how Catacomb Kids became to be, and that's sort of my background is just jumping in to, because like before I worked on this, I've been using Game Maker, but I'd never really made anything large with it. I was just kind of like game jam games and prototypes and that sort of thing, and so like working on a project of this scale has been a very like large learning experience, and there's like so many things that
I'm sure
that I would do differently, and it's hard because like I've been working on this game for so long. Like before I did the Kickstarter at the end of 2013, I had been working on it like very on and off, like between school and work and that sort of thing for a while, and like there's still code in the game from back then when I was stupid, and sometimes I'll like come across a line of code, be like, what is this? Like who wrote this? Yeah,
that is definitely a standard dev conundrum. I don't do the programming for our games, but I hear that from Robot all the time.
Just like what does this even do? And that's what I'm saying. But I can't change it because then it'll break everything. So I've actually gotten a lot better about that recently, and a couple times recently I've like gone back and sort of like cleaned out the old code and revised it and sort of made it make sense to a more current me. But there are definitely like design sort of and organizational things that I've learned along the way that I'd be like, I should have done this completely differently. But yeah, it's fun, like learning how to do these things, and it's like I love the challenge of it.
There's a lot of charm I'm just noticing in this game. Like if you try to kill the Gremolds, are they
yeah, the Grumbles?
The Grumbles, yeah. If you try to kill them and you get them low, they will leave the level.
Yeah, they split. They book it. They don't like being killed.
That's incredible.
But also, if there are other Grumbles still alive on the level, they will try and sort of seek out the other Grumbles and get their help. And then sometimes you want to kill one of them before they get away, because then they'll come back with like three friends, and who are all full health. But yeah, that was actually a recent addition to the game. A couple months ago, so it's like sort of towards the end of last year, I overhauled the AI and gave all the humanoid enemies pathfinding, which they didn't have before, which was annoying me because they were just kind of like, you'd get on the other side of the wall and they just sort of jump into the wall trying to reach you through it. But now they have proper pathfinding, which is pretty nice, I think.
Well, awesome. Well, I think that this is a lovely game, and I wish you the best of luck with your very lofty aspirations of having like 4 different areas.
Thank you. That's coming along. The second area is coming along quite well, I have to say. And we actually, I'm at my musician's place right now, and earlier today we were cutting up sound effects for the new enemies, and oh man, they sound so good. I'm excited. And the music, they were working on the music. Oh man, I can't wait to show everybody. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be super, super dope.
Awesome. Very cool. I really thank you for making the game.
Oh, thank you for playing it. Thank you for having me on. It's
gonna be great. Oh, yeah, sure thing. I'm posting in chat again the link to the game. This hour is just not long enough. The first Super Show I did, 30 minutes for every dev. That wasn't long enough. The next one is 45 minutes. I'm just gonna have to do like one dev every day and just
sit down until there's nothing else to talk about.
Bring a bag of chips.
Just switch careers into a professional Twitch streamer of indie dev games, because like by the time you finish with one list, it would just be like, oh, it's next year, and there's like 100 new games to play.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, this has been great. Thanks for having me on.
It's been wonderful. Thanks. I'll talk to you later.